Southern Paranormal, and we are back in Savannah, Georgia. This is our 50th investigation, and we have been invited back to the Sorrel-Weed House. We was here almost a year ago to date, and we had some incredible experiences in here. It's been a lot that's happened since we've been here too, if I'm not mistaken. And this is Nick. He can tell you all about this place.
Yeah, since you guys were here, you're going to see changes. Of course, more of the mansion is furnished, and we have a lot more artifacts on display. Since we started bringing artifacts in right around midsummer last year, we seem to have had a kick in activity. It seemed to get boosted a little bit. I kind of feel like we've maybe invited some other things into this house. It's silly when you think about this, but you guys might be able to relate. We know our ghosts. We know what our ghosts do and what they don't do and what they like to do. And I mean, there was a time where we started bringing certain items in, and then things started getting thrown at us, where people were getting pushed and tripped.
Down here upstairs.
Down here, out in the courtyard, in the carriage house especially. So you guys are going to see a few additions during your investigation tonight, but activity-wise, everybody knows the Sorrel-Weed Mansion. It's a 180-year-old, 16,000 square foot Greek Revival mansion.
Beautiful place.
Tragedy. This house, first of all, in case your fans, your followers don't remember, this house actually sits on top of the ruins of British barracks that were destroyed in what was considered to be the second bloodiest battle of the American Revolutionary War. And this sits right on top of the site where British officers' quarters and an armory sat that were destroyed by French cannon fire during that battle. We still have remnants, remains, pieces underneath the foundation of this house, including the remnants of almost nearly a dozen British officers who were trapped beneath that rubble. This house sits on top of them. So you've got, I believe, a lot of residual activity associated with that era. But I also believe that you're going to interact with some intelligent entities in this house associated with that era. But down here, you should just know that where we're standing right now, and your fans can get clued in on this, I wouldn't normally consider this little kitchen right here what we'd call a hot spot. I mean, you guys remember being up in the parlors, being in Frank's surgery room, being up in the carriage house in Molly's room. You remember going down. I remember how you were affected when we went down into the cellar, down into the under chamber of the carriage house, and there was that indention, and we had our theories and ideas about what might be down there. But in this room where we're standing right now, not an area we would typically call a hot spot, but these days,
Lately it has been.
And people have been listening to me talk a lot about it on the radio and everywhere else. I've been talking about it on the website. I've been talking it up with my guests who come and take my tours here in this room, specifically this doorway right over here behind Donald. Everybody can see. It's just a black privacy curtain hanging up here. There's a pine door frame. You can see 180-year-old timber above it from the old doorway. You see there's just a plywood door right there going to a utility closet. But what people have been capturing in photographs just touring the house, and not just at night, but people are actually capturing apparitions walking out of this doorway. It started with an image during a tour where we see a woman standing in this doorway.
That's an incredible photo too, because when you sent it to me, I thought it was actually a person.
You thought that was actually a person.
And I was looking for something else.
We were all looking for something else. 33 people that night would attest that there was absolutely nobody in this room. We all poured into this room. The photo that was taken, that is not a real person. The other thing is, what's so interesting about this image and the activity, all right, is that we're not seeing a black curtain, we're not seeing a pine door frame, we're not seeing a closet door. We're seeing a brick entryway
behind the door.
Yeah, we're seeing a brick entryway the way it would have existed a century and a half ago, not the way it exists today. But we see through this as if none of this exists, as if it weren't even here.
Right.
But in the photos taken by these guests just previous and after immediately, it's just the way you see it now. It's only in that moment did we capture an apparition standing in an entryway the way it used to exist. And then what's crazy is the following weeks, each consecutive week, it would get captured again. The following week, earlier in the evening, 3 hours earlier, the sun's pouring through this window. We get over 4 photos in sequence of something stepping out of here carrying a lamp.
Yeah.
With a lamp or a candle or something brightly illuminated. Yeah. Very, very brightly illuminated. And then a week goes by, it's quiet, but the following week, I think someone just wasn't here to capture the following week. But the week after that, I have guests come in and they go, well, we got these pictures the night before. I wanted to show them to you, see what you think of them. And I look at it and I was like, the first one I looked at, I said, oh no, it's just dust. It's just dust. And then he goes, well, what about this other one? I said, just email it to me, I'll look at it later. He goes, no, you look at this one real quick. And I see another shadow figure protruding through this curtain. And I instantaneously, I said, oh, you got to give that to me. I have to have that. I'm talking about this tomorrow. I want to talk about this picture too. It's just been rolling week after week after week. So I hope you guys will spend a little bit of time in here and maybe get us some answers.
Yeah, hopefully when, a static camera up in here and hopefully some recorders as well. Have you ever caught any EVPs in this room? Or?
Not specifically in this room where I've put a great effort or other investigators put a great effort in. I suppose, and I'll never make this mistake again, I've always kind of classified areas of the house into those hot spots. And so people will focus their attention to those places where everybody is already investigated. But that's not going to happen with you guys tonight, is it? Because you guys are going to go investigate somewhere. You guys are going to go somewhere where no other investigative team has ever gone before. You guys are going up.
We've been invited up to the 4th floor. No one has ever investigated this.
Nobody. Not even myself and my team. I keep putting off. I'm going, no, nobody's going up there until we have.
That was the first last time we was here, which was under my legs.
That was the first, and I'd never let anybody go down there. You guys were the first ones to go down there.
And then now we're hitting the 4th floor.
Now you're going up to where the children's quarters were. All right, and you're going to get to do some investigating up there. And I really, genuinely, I would be surprised if you didn't have some experiences. I'd be disappointed, but I want you guys to go up there, focus some time up there. But also, please, maybe you could focus some time here in the areas where everyone else doesn't go. Maybe you could get us some answers.
We have started using the portal. I don't know if you've seen these down. We've had a lot of luck with it.
Told me a little bit about it. I'd actually like to see it in action tonight.
And here would probably be a good spot to start that portal out.
Here and the 4th. I mean, there's no reason why we can't do both. I mean, we at Old Licking Jail, it was just phenomenal, some of the things that we got there. Some places it does better at, some it don't, but I have a feeling tonight's going to be an exciting night. I mean, I'm pumped just.
Kyle was at Licking County Jail. Kyle was doing a lot of provoking on it, and it was bringing a lot of, I guess not really demonic, but dark names and stuff like that. Kept on coming through.
Is there a chance where a little bit later on you guys are gonna maybe do a YouTube live video or other things like that?
I was doing one earlier day when we were here, and kind of lost connection down here.
You will, yeah.
In the courtyard. I was kind of getting it. Upstairs was great. Upstairs we were all upstairs. Even the 4th floor, we went up there the first time and just kind of looking around and went up on the rooftop. At the carriage house, it went in and out a little bit, but I think we'll be able to go live up there. You said you had some live streaming too.
I do. I do have 8 high definition cameras down here that we can live stream as well.
That'd be great.
But maybe spend some time in the places where
nobody else does.
Yeah. Maybe you guys will get us some answers, some things that I can give some explanations to my guests, or at least some hints at some ideas.
And we were so excited to come back to Savannah and to the Sorrel-Weed House. They invited us back. And like we said a while ago, this is our 50th investigation. And we've got t-shirts here that Nick's got on sale in the Sorrel-Weed gift shop. $25 a piece. You can get a hold to Nick or one of us. How do they get a hold to you?
Our Facebook, official Sorrel-Weed House. They can message us. We'll ship them out to you. You can call us 912-257-2223. Visit us online, sorrel-weedhouse.com. We'll have a little
shipping.
button. Yeah, and $25, that'll include the shipping.
Oh, that includes the
That
shipping.
includes the shipping. $25, yeah.
Oh, that'll work.
We got an extra light here that just went out for some reason.
When are you gonna experience that in this house?
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's still on.
Yeah, still got juice.
It's still got half a battery, and
It died.
it went off. It didn't die, it just went off.
Is it too hot, maybe?
Now it's a LED.
Fluorescent.
Oh.
It just,
No, it's LED.
yeah. Oh well. Maybe it'll come back on. Whoever turned it off, maybe they'll turn it back on.
for us.
Yeah, turn it back on for us. We need it. You were talking a little bit about this room and the shadow figure and all that stuff. Is there anything in here that may have some attachment to it that you brought in, or maybe do y'all even get history of certain objects that y'all bring in?
A little bit. Not everything, not every artifact we bring in has a clear backstory to it. I just know that there was an incident where one of the very first pieces of evidence, or not evidence, artifacts that we brought in was a chair that we were going to be using for an event. And it was a whole 2 weeks before we brought another artifact in. Mm-hmm. Immediately after we brought that chair in, that's when people started getting pushed and we started having objects physically thrown in front of guests. There was an incident up in the dining room. You're going to see that it's all dressed for a dinner party now. Something that's different since the last time you were here. I brought some crystal candle holders during the 7 o'clock tour. Probably 20 people on that tour. One of those candles doesn't just fall out of the candle holder. First of all, these have to be twisted and wedged down in there. Right. This thing goes flying out of it, lands several feet from the table over at the feet of some of the guests that were in that room for that tour. And half the room watched it go from all the way over here to all the way over here. And then later on, I went back and tried to see what could physically make that happen, and I kept like slapping the candle and it wouldn't fall over, so that I'd put it so that it was just barely in, and then I'd hit it, and all it would do was hit the table and roll off and land on the floor.
So trying to debunk it.
Trying to debunk it. Of course, that's the name of the game here for us. Before we showed this image to the public, we spent a month studying and trying to recreate the heck out of this. But yeah, physical objects getting thrown. So I figured there had to be something attached to that chair, and I felt like it was trying to assert dominance, or it was trying to assert itself and say, hey, we're here. But that behavior sort of calmed down, that physical behavior. Frank's room just inside there has always been what we'd call a physically active room, but this was out in the courtyard. This was the carriage house, places where we don't normally have violent acts taking place. So, but everyone knows this house has tragedy, the Sorrels. There was a lot of happy times here. It was a party house, so don't forget. Listen in EVP's parlors, voices, crystal clinking, footsteps.
And we heard footsteps and voices in the men's and the ladies' parlor last time we was here. And it was right out in the hallway, and me and his wife both heard it. You know, I couldn't remember if I heard the footsteps, she heard the voices, or vice versa, but it was very real, you know. I think I got on the radio and called you to find out where you were.
Yeah, and I believe Gordon and I were outside hovering around the Shadow 1.
Yeah.
Probably gawking and with our jaws on the ground going, oh, what a beautiful rig.
We've got to get it set up. We're probably running a little bit late tonight anyway. I guess we're ready to start pulling cable.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, before you pull cable, guys, I'm thrilled that you guys are back. All right? I'm thrilled that you're here for your 50th paranormal investigation, and that you're doing it here, not just in Savannah, America's most haunted city, but you're at this house, the Sorrel Mansion.
We wouldn't have had it any other way, and especially when you invited us here, there was no way we'd turn it down.
Please.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this one for a while. This has been like on our radar for quite some time. So ever since we started talking about actually doing the 50th here, yeah.
Get us some answers, if you can.
Let's do it. Let's go get them cables and get everything set up.
We're going to see what we can do. Thanks, man.
Absolutely.